Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. My PLC today is going to be handwriting is the importance of handwriting and why handwriting is important. Okay. The teaching of handwriting is really regarded as an important part of our daily teaching practice, and as teachers we often provide minimal instruction and at times use handwriting work as a filler lesson just before a transition. So we provide minimal feedback. Students miss out on the opportunity for correction, resulting in below standard handwriting skills, leading to unsatisfactory bookwork and later to poor study skills. To add to this, the act of writing by hand is quickly becoming outdated due to technology being more widely available to students. From preschool to university, we're finding that students are engaging less in writing by hand. In this presentation, I'd like to highlight the benefits of handwriting as a tool for supporting learning for all ages. Okay. Firstly, I'd like to talk about how my presentation relates to the New South Wales teaching standards. So, Standard 1, know students and how they learn, and the 7 principles of Islamic pedagogy, Principle 2.1, 3.6, 6.1, and 6.4. In the first revelation revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Surah Alaq, in verse 4, Allah Ta'ala makes reference to the use of the pen. In the literal sense, the pen is a writing tool, which is a fundamental means to learn and educate. It is also a symbolic message from Allah that conveys to us in the most simplistic manner how we acquire knowledge. So our Creator is communicating to us how we learn best. I find this message to be quite inspiring and powerful in relation to education and handwriting. So what is handwriting? Handwriting is an important part of our daily lives. It is a universal skill unique to every individual, an imprint of personality, a modern-day tool, a necessity, and even a form of art. Handwriting is also a very complex skill to master, one which involves linguistic, cognitive, perceptual, and motor components, all of which have to be coordinated in an integrated fashion. Research in cognitive neuroscience has proven the effects of handwriting experience on brain development. The following slides contain short quotes from relevant research. So I'm just going to very quickly read through these. So an article titled Cognitive Benefits of Handwriting explains how the motor memory, the brain-hand connection, is the most powerful of our memories. It enables us to learn to swim, ski, ride horseback, play tennis, and even drive our cars. A different article in the Neurology Journal states that handwriting puts multiple areas of the brain in action simultaneously, encouraging brain cells to communicate and connect with one another. Both print and cursive writing builds memory and retention. Research by Professor Berlinger from the University of Washington reported her study of children in grades 2, 4, and 6 that revealed they wrote more words faster and expressed more ideas when writing essays by hand versus with a keyboard. Handwriting, a tool for literacy. One of the earliest literacy skills children acquire in their early learning years is letter knowledge. These are some quotes on the function of handwriting in learning to read. So the ability of a student to identify letters visually at preschool is the single highest predictor of short and long-term success in literacy. Children who learn letter formation learn to recognize letters more quickly. Forming letters by hand engages more networks within the brain than keyboarding. Children generate ideas more easily when writing by hand, which makes for better recall. There is even some evidence that the physical act of handwriting helps the flow of ideas for written composition in ways which keyboarding doesn't. All right, here's some scientific research. A research paper, Visual Motor Functional Connectivity in Preschool Children Emerges After Handwriting Experience. I've actually got a copy of this research paper, so if anybody would like to have a look, I've got it just sitting over there. Okay, so this paper compared the brain function of 4 to 6-year-old children during handwriting, tracing, and typing. The fMRI scans of the children showed an increase in oxygen levels upon activation of various parts of the brain. The results indicated that there was greater activation for letters trained through handwriting than for letters trained through tracing or typing. So therefore, handwriting practice contributes to the strengthening of functional connections that plays a major role in letter recognition. So, okay, that's our conclusion. And they even noticed that throughout the training, there were big differences. So training-based differences were reported in children's scan images, even after the relatively brief sessions in handwriting practice they had during the study. So this was quite interesting. Okay, and it was found that children who lacked the ability to write also demonstrated impaired letter recognition. Therefore, it is important to make sure handwriting practice remains a central activity in early letter learning, whether the handwriting occurs with paper and pencil or tablet. So regardless of whether it's paper or pencil or on the tablet, there needs to be some sort of handwriting movement. More evidence. According to an earlier study in 2009, conducted on 61 university students, they found evidence that proves increased kinesthetic information from handwriting creates a more complex memory trace than created by typing. According to a more recent study, in an issue of the journal Psychological Science, using pen and paper, not laptops, to take notes boosts memory and the ability to retain and understand concepts. Note-taking is a practical way to acquire and retain information while saving time and effort. So lots of studies, lots of information about why handwriting is so important for learning at all ages, not just for the younger years, but for university students as well. When we look at the Australian curriculum documents on handwriting, we see a progression of the skills that need to be taught. So in summary, these begin with the formation of letters in the younger years and move towards achieving a handwriting style that is legible, fluent, and automatic, and varies according to audience and purpose by the end of Year 6. Handwriting must be taught. Handwriting is the physical means of expressing language. And the symbols we use in handwriting are not something that comes naturally and must be taught. We cannot write unless we've been taught how to. This emphasizes the importance of the teaching of handwriting, as studies have shown that writing by hand significantly improves letter recognition in the younger years, memory, and the ability to understand concepts for older students. So how do we teach it? We provide direct, explicit, and stage-based instruction. We provide dynamic handwriting demonstrations throughout the day and taking every opportunity to display or actually show the formation of letters and the spacing and so on. And children need to be in meaningful situations to be able to write effectively. Posture. According to the Australian curriculum document, states the importance of correct posture and grip in K-2, as this is the time when good handwriting habits are established. Emphasis on joining letters, legibility, automaticity, and fluency emerge in progression from these 3 to 6. So this brings us to the question of how students should grasp the pencil. Proper pencil grasp is necessary for students to be able to write legibly and fluently. The dynamic tripod grip is the preferred grip. However, studies have shown that there are 4 mature grasp patterns that prove equally efficient. And as you can see, that's our tripod, dynamic tripod. And then there's 3 others that are actually accepted as well. Okay, with younger children, incorrect pencil grip may be corrected early in their foundational years. However, children will find it more difficult to change an established pencil grip and generally will adopt one of the 4 major grasp patterns later on. Okay, younger students may be assisted with a pencil grip to correct their pencil grasp. I've actually experimented with some of these pencil grips. I found that this particular one, quite an interesting one, is actually better with the younger grades, like for example kindergarten, whereas this one, maybe year 1, and probably that one for year 2 and older. I've actually experimented with all of them. And this tripod pencil is, I think, most effective for all grades. Okay, some simple strategies to assist letter formation. All right, some simple strategies to assist students in handwriting lessons could include visuals, reminders of correct posture, and pencil grip. So this one over here, where it shows posture, pencil, paper, and pressure, just a daily reminder to students about how they should be sitting, how they should be writing, and so on and so forth. The head, body, and the tail of a letter, I find that a lot of students use this, and they refer to it when they're writing, when they're forming their letters. It's a nice way to remind them. It doesn't matter what grade they are, it's a nice way to, it's a useful way to remind students how to form their letters. And this picture in the middle was taken from a student, a kindergarten student from our school, and showing her how the head, body, and the tail of the letter works. Okay, so how can we make handwriting lessons positive, meaningful, and personal for our students? We can make our sessions more engaging by providing an authentic reason to write, promote self-esteem and sense of achievement and of personal style and ownership through the sharing, displaying of effort, add a musical element to the practice to enhance focus and relaxation. And some examples could include daily journal writing. Teachers can give students a selection of topics to respond to. Write the hadith of the week every day for memorization. Exchange short letters with a friend once a week. Emphasize the importance of presentation exercise books. Maybe provide awards, marks for those students who've put in extra effort. And students can compose text types by handwriting instead of using a laptop, a computer. Provide opportunities for students to display and share their work. Encourage students to give positive feedback and praise the effort of others. So maybe during circle time or sakina time, displaying each other's work, making positive comment. And introduce listening to Quran recitation or a popular nasheed during handwriting sessions, and always integrate handwriting to other KLAs. So what can we do as a school to assist teachers and students achieve handwriting goals? Introduce a whole school approach. Develop a handwriting policy that provides guidelines to assist teachers develop a teaching style and routines for handwriting sessions. So every teacher could have their own individual routine or style of teaching that they like. And provide explicit bookwork expectations for organisation. I've actually brought in some samples of handwriting policies that from around Australia, and I found them to be quite useful. They actually educate and teach and instruct teachers on how to explicitly teach handwriting. And organise a calligraphy club to enhance student concentration, dexterity, well-being and spirituality. So why calligraphy? Calligraphy is the art of drawing decorative letters through various implements. It can be adapted to many writing systems, as you can clearly see in these examples. A study published in the International Journal of Psychology investigated the scientific nature of Chinese calligraphy, shufa, and its effects on the treatment of behavioural and clinical disorders. They discovered that the writer experienced relaxation and calmness, resulting in slower respiration, decreased heart rate and blood pressure. After the application of the calligraphic handwriting treatment, they found behavioural changes in people with autism, ADD, ADHD, hand steadiness in children with mild retardation, as well as enhanced memory and concentration. So maybe we could introduce a handwriting session or a calligraphy session as a lunchtime club, and maybe encourage students who have maybe some disorders or learning difficulties to engage in things like that. Because what I've seen with my students as well, when you give them pencil and paper, even the students who can't sit still for five seconds, you can actually see them really focusing on what they're doing. And that tells me that handwriting actually will improve their concentration if it's done systematically throughout the day. Okay, in summary, Modern technology has changed the way we communicate through writing. However, despite the increased use of computers and handheld devices, the skill of handwriting remains important in education. Handwriting has proven cognitive benefits in learning to read in the earlier years, enhances memory and concentration for all learners, is most effectively learned through explicit, direct instruction and practice, provides more benefits for students of all ages than laptops and other devices.
What's your recommended time or your advice to spend on a handwriting lesson in class?
For a handwriting lesson, I would recommend firstly a demonstration, and then getting students to show how they write letters in the air, possibly for kindergarten. And after that, maybe about 20 to 25 minutes on just handwriting practice. But during this time, I would encourage you to go around and check what children are doing and actually guide them through it, because they need a lot of help with the grasping of the pencil, and they need a lot of one-on-one attention, especially in kindergarten classes. With the older grades, maybe showing them just before the lesson how they should hold, going through some of the details of posture, and then as beginning the lesson, one period should be plenty. However, that would be, you wouldn't just limit that to, maybe you could have your handwriting lesson for once a week, for one period. But throughout the day, whenever you give students a lesson on anything, for example, whether it's HSIE or history, geography, or any of the other KLAs, when you call the students up for marking, always check their handwriting and correct it as much as possible, just as a daily reminder so that they know your expectation and they can live up to that. They can work towards that. So that would be my answer.
Okay, so I find that if I write for long periods of time, or even short periods of time, my hand starts straining, and that's why I've got pretty poor writing. Is that because of the lack of practice I've had growing up, or would you know the contributing factors as to why I strain?
It could be related to just the way your wrist is. Maybe getting some sort of support for your wrist when you're handwriting would help you write with more ease and with less pain.